Hey everyone, right, here we go. The manual. We're going to explain today what the manual is, what it tells you, what to look for, and it even says in the bottom corner here, 1993. So, what does the manual tell us? It tells us what we need to build this thing. This page is in, well, I'm assuming it's Chinese, could be Japanese, I don't know, I don't read it. This just tells us what the safety precautions are. So, more advice, safety procedures. So this is what we need. So, obviously, we need to run this. We obviously need a radio, and we need a receiver. Yeah, I'm quite serious into this, so I buy a high-end model. My preference is the DX6, 6 channels, more than enough, and very reliable new AR620. So you need your radio. You also need an electronic speed controller to vary the speed of the motor. I personally like the Hobbywing. The 1060 is a very good, very reliable electronic speed controller. It has the facility of forward brake and reverse. You can have it as forward and reverse only, and you can have it as LiPo using these little jumper cables. Yeah, very good, very cheap, very reasonably priced. Don't cheap out on electrics, because you will be buying twice. And of course you'll need power. So a lot of the models will come with a standard Tamiya connector. People use Deans, people use XT60s. The EC3 is more than enough, and my preferred connection, go for a high milliamp hour. Higher the milliamp hour, the longer it's going to last. If you get a 1200, the capacity is not there, so you probably get a lot shorter run time. And always go for a very well known VP. Get them from Component Shop in the UK. Very good battery. The weight of them is a good indication that they are actually 5000 milliamp hour. And for the battery, you're going to need a charger. I love the Sky RC brand. This is 2-channel. I can charge 2 up at once. Connects via Bluetooth. This cost me around £90. You can buy a more basic one. Sky RC do one that is a single channel, and it's called the IMAX B6 AC. Be careful of fakes, because the cheap Chinese fakes are a fire hazard. So always go for quality, be safe, buy cheap, buy twice. And you're going to need servos. I like the Futaba S3003. They're an old servo. I have a lot of these. Bought them in bulk. You can still buy these, but make sure you get the genuine ones. What you'll find on listings is it says for Futaba, not Futaba. and these located holes, the fake ones, have got a slot in the top. These are just holes, not slots. So yeah, don't buy fake, be really careful. Right, these are a good servo. They're about, I think they're about 5 kilogram. Don't really need much more than that for these trucks. Yes, they are plastic gears, but I fit them in all the trucks I run, and I've never had one fail. Not yet, touch wood. What else do you need? You need to choose what colour you're going to be painting. This is for diamond white. Because they are a hard body polycarbonate ABS cab, automotive paints are great. The smaller model paints, they come in small tins, and you need quite a few of them, and these work out a lot cheaper. Paint them whatever colour you like, just make sure you use a good plastic primer on top. And if you're like me and not very good at painting, get somebody else to do it. I've just paid £40 to have this body shell painted, and you'll see in videos that are going to be coming up just how amazing that paint looks. So rather than spend £30 or £40 buying primers and wasting your time and cocking it up, just get somebody else to do it for 50 quid. Yeah, good stuff. Automotive paints are good though if you want to have a go yourself. I'm not going to be telling you how to paint models because I haven't got a clue. What else do we need? We need detailing paints. So I have hundreds, dozens of these. They are Tamiya paints. They're pretty good. So you need to paint the interior, the seats, the seat bases, the window surrounds. I like this flat black. Very good. Quite affordable. If you've got one of the Euro trucks, these are good paints to have. The X26 and X27 to paint the inside of the light lenses. On the King Hauler, the lenses are actually moulded in the colour. So yeah, just get the colours that you need, plan ahead, and basically there's nothing more frustrating in starting your build and having to stop after you've planned this for weeks. I'm going to have some time off. I've got 2 weeks off work now, and I'm going to get stuck in, and you need you need more paint, or you need some parts. So plan ahead, draw up a checklist. You have a checklist here of what you need. These bits here, you need your radio, your batteries, speed controller, servos. On this truck I'm going to be using 3. There's going to be a servo for the transmission, servo for the steering, a servo for the coupler, and the 4th channel will be the speed controller. And you're going to need a 7.2 volt battery, and like I said, go for a higher value battery pack that you can afford. You'll get much longer run time. We do get some tools in the kit, but I'm not going to open that bag just yet because I'm not starting the build, just explaining what's happened. The manual, so we get the grease in the kit. We get, where's that box spanner? We get a box spanner. Move over here. Get a box spanner. You get this little tool which is for the E-clip. Can't say that I've ever used it because I've never known what it was for. But yeah, apparently that's for the E-clips. Or W-clips, because they ping off everywhere and they go away. You get a 1.5mm Allen key. You need thread lock. I've got loads of that. Because on some alloy to alloy parts, I use clear nail varnish. Yeah, that dries and it kind of grips them all together. We need some pliers, some side cuts for cutting the parts off the trees. I use these that are for electronics, because they are really close. They're dead flat this side and you can get really close. If you can't get close, I always have, doesn't say in here, I always have a file handy that you can just get one of the parts, and if it's just got a little nub where it's, you know what I mean. Craft knife, X-Acto knife, whatever you call them, wherever you are. That's, you know, a cheap one, don't have to go expensive. Some glue. I use super glue because I always use it in a well ventilated area. I use it very, very carefully, so I don't get that clouding, the blooming as they call it. Pair of tweezers, they are a must, especially for someone who has really large fingers, because some of these screws are so small that you need just to hold on to them. And yeah, they really are a handy tool. And then the main tools that you're going to need are screwdrivers. I've always used hoodie tools. Now people swear by MIP. MIP are a good brand, but I've always used hoodie. When I did the 10 scale car racing, I had hoodie mats, hoodie setup stations, hoodie everything. And anybody would have thought that I was sponsored by hoodie, but no, I wasn't, unfortunately, because if I was, I'd have even more hoodie equipment. So that is basically what we need to get the kit running after we build it. So without further ado, let's show you what the manual is and what it's telling us and how to read it. Right, start of the assembly instructions. I will put a image of this down this side of the screen, rather than keep holding this up like this and getting all of the lighting wrong and the flickering. It's a bit rubbish. So it's telling us to set all the electrics up, which we need to do. Battery, speed controller, receiver, radio. Plug your servos in because they need to be set to neutral before we fit these servo horns, because these need to be central, because if you just plonk them on, you don't know if they're going to be to the left or to the right. So we need to centralize them, as we see just here, that it's telling us that this speedo, the steering servo, needs to be dead straight with the main body of the servo, and the shift servo just here needs to be at perfect 90 degrees with that. So that is what the servos are looking like when it's done. So step 1 and step 2 are the servos. So it is really simple. It is telling us on this side of the page, on the right hand side of every page, on the left hand column of every page, it's telling us what we need. BA1 and a B B3. These diagrams here are the exact size that we need. So let me grab my massive load of spare parts and bits and pieces, and I will show you exactly what I mean. So we want, according to this, let me put that there like that, and then if I'm going to probably screw this right up, zoom in, move that up into shot. So we can see that that is a self-tapper because of the coarse thread, and the shading is black, so we know that that's a black screw. This one here is not shaded, so that one's going to be a silver screw, and this nut here is black. So I'm going to show you what I do with my parts, but for the purpose of this segment I'm going to try and find a BA3. So as you can see, that is exactly the same size as that. Doesn't look the same size on the camera. Let's have a look. That's because that one is a BA3. So yeah, that one is the BA3. So that one, oh come on, this is why tweezers are good. So that one is the BA3. I'm not going to be able to get that to sit just there. So there you go. It's exactly the same size. This one is, it tells you it's 2.6 by 16 and it's a BC6 self tapper. I wonder if it would be one of them, which looks like that's the one for that one, because that's the black screw, self-tapping screw. So we've got one of those, and we need silver ones for there. I don't know if there's any silver ones. I'm not going to flick through these because that video I did last night was 30 odd minutes long. So yeah, these are silver screws. And they're silver screws, and that is a black screw. So you can easily tell the difference. So yeah, tells you how many you need. On here it says we need one of the BB3, and we need one of those black now they're going to be right at the bottom of it, so I'm not going to bother trying to dig one out unless I can see one on top. So yeah, if you get out the fixings that you need, one bolt, one screw BB3, one small BC1 nut, which is silver. This is shaded black, this is shaded silver. One BC6, one BC7, and one BD2. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws to complete this. And this will tell you that this BB3 is this one here that holds the entire steering servo assembly together. We have a little ball cup here, which I think are in a different, I'm just gonna, aha, here we go, found one. So that one just there is that one. I say that's not shaded in black, so that one is going to be a silver one. So yeah, that's where that BD6 goes just in there. It's really simple to follow, really simple. On this particular one here, we have a BE6, which is a very small brass ball joint, and they're going to be, I think, in there. Look, we've got some old King Hauler selector dogs, as I think some people call them. There's one, look. Tweezers are fantastic for getting stuff out, and that is your shift servo BE6, and that just fits in the end of the, move that up a little bit, there it is, and you can see that that just fits there, look, and that screws into the servo saver. It can't be simpler than that. So let's get all this put back away, because I'm going to end up knocking them around, and that's not going to be good when I have to spend most of the afternoon standing on screws. I've got a metal front cross member for the King Hauler. I have lots of parts, it's ridiculous. This is when I build my own circuit boards, little tiny transistors. Crazy. What crap I've got. But this is what happens when you do the same hobby for 40 years without getting bored of it. So, as we go through the manual, we get to larger parts, right? Okay, get these front suspension, and you'll notice on this one here, there's a line on it. This one hasn't got the line on it. That's because this one's saying it is angled. You can just see there that there is an angled and a flat, and they are in, should be in this bag. Let me pull this open, because and they are the exact size of that picture, exact size, and that is the angled one, which is again the exact same size as that picture. So you can't really go wrong. So always read carefully. Have the front shock mounts here, which again, that is exactly the same size. So if in doubt, put your fixings on. You can see that it tells you that on that step there, you need 4 BD1s, and it tells you that it's in screw bag D. Tells you where it is, tells you what it is, tells you how big it is. Really is a detailed build manual. Screw bag A is the BA1, and you need 2 of those. Tells you that it's a 3mm nut. and that you need 2 of them. Yeah, it's a simple thing. It tells you where they go. I'm going to be clipping these pictures as I go through the build. The Tamiya manual is world renowned as being one of the most detailed build manuals that you can get in the RC kits, and a lot of people look at all these parts and think, oh my god, I'm never going to be able to do that. Never doubt yourself. Never doubt yourself, because you don't know if you don't try. So just try. As I said in the previous video, you don't have to build this in a day. You don't have to build it in a weekend. I've got 2 weeks off work. I'm going to be spending 2 weeks building this, and that's going to be including videoing it, talking to you guys, planning, scripting and editing the video. So yeah, it's going to be quite involving. I'm not going to tell you I can do this in 2 days, because anybody, you know, that's experienced would be able to do this. We have information in the corners of these. It says here, this is a very effective ceramic grease. You get these little icons here. This is for the grease. This is for the thread lock. So yeah, this darker symbol is thread lock, of course, because that's holding that small 1.5mm grub screw. Well, the Allen key is 1.5, but I think that's yeah, it's a 3mm in total. So yeah, grease here in this blue symbol, grease the end of the drive cups. This is the differential rod. So yeah, lots of grease. You do have a small amount of grease, and you can use up that on the transmission and the axles. Don't really need it anywhere else. But I like, let me just grab it, Super Lube. No rude comments, please. This is multi-purpose synthetic grease with, what does that say? Syncolon. If you can speak Spanish, you know what that means. PTFE, polytetrafluoroethylene. And yeah, food safe, clear, and I've been told that this is vegan friendly because it's fully synthetic. Wonderful. Vegan friendly. I have a friend that's a vegan, and God, she does make some nice food. So here we go. You know, a little bit more information on this page here. Tamiya colour catalogue. So don't have to paint it the colour that you want. Paint it what you want it to be. On these steering link rods, I'm going to go through this, but the actual length of that picture is the actual length that it needs to be. So you don't need a measuring ruler or a tape measure or anything. You simply screw it together and lie it across there, look down on it, and if those holes line up, we're good to go. These are black because they're shaded. These are white because they are, where's that bag? There, look. They're the white ones, and the black ones are in there also. Yes, really, really good. I mean, they even go down to the colour. This is a black screw, this is a silver screw, and the one that's a colour in between, the lighter grey, that's going to be the brass. So that's them. Got loads of them somewhere. Yeah, I've got lots of spare parts, so let's just have a quick flick through. Again, this is going to be a brass part. This is going to be a silver part. Metal bearings, that's these, which are just metal bushings. Somewhere I read that they were a borium. Can't remember. But I will be replacing them with, because I run my trucks at truck mints. So I've got a big selection of bearings, and because it's not a basher or a crawler or a buggy, then I just go for metal shielded bearings. They're okay. Or you could go for rubber shielded bearings. Really makes no difference. If you're going to have one of the construction models like the Mercedes tipper, I'd go for the shielded bearings, the rubber shielded bearings. That's going to keep a lot of dirt out. So that's again entirely up to you. If it's going to be a shelf queen, no need to go to all this trouble. Where's that? I think they're the larger ones, because when you buy the kit, the larger bearings, which are 1260s, they are slightly bigger. But I've never used these in the gearbox, and we'll get to that when we get to it. Have some even smaller ones here, and these are for the steering. That's a normal one. That's for the steering on the Euro trucks. I just buy them in bulk. You can buy them in a kit, because I use loads to try and get a good price on I'm buying them bulk, because the 1150 is the main bearings, and then you've got a couple of these bigger ones. Sure, what's that one? I'll stick that one in there. God darn it, Right. Let's just have a quick look through more of this. Gear shafts, shift rod, gearbox. That is going to be something that's going to be, I'm going to be getting right into the detail on that, because it's been a problem for a lot of people. So yeah, that's going to be a very close-up and personal build. Again, you've got the actual size of the link rods, the parts for the fifth wheel. It's all pretty much what it is. When we get to the electronics, I won't be fitting the speed controller. I won't be fitting this, because I'm going to fit the Tamiya multifunction unit, and people are going to frown at me when I fit a MFC 03, because it's for a Euro truck, not an American truck. But there's a feature on the 03 that I want, And that's why I'm going to be using the 03. So we have here the gearbox. Well, the bottom one there, we have the servo setup of how the steering geometry is supposed to look. There's going to be a steering modification that is going to be so easy to do and make your truck perform a lot better. And then this is showing you where the gears are and what the servo position is. All the way out towards the front is first gear, central is second gear, and third gear is pushed in all the way towards the rear. And not many people know this, but we have on F tree, F part number 9, and we clip that on there, and it shows you putting both F9s on the front locks it in first gear, putting one on the front and one on the back locks it in second, or if you want to get some pace on, you can lock it in third gear. I lock mine in first gear because they are plenty quick enough. They're expensive and you don't want to be bumping into everybody telling you to glue the tyres on. I've never glued tyres on unless you're going to be hauling a lot of weight on uneven ground. Yeah, the manual is what it is. Tells you where to put the stickers. This is obviously telling you the colour of the box cards. It's Mica Red TS39. The chrome silver is X11. Don't know if I've got that one. No, I've got XF. I have got it somewhere, but it's in another box. Semi-gloss black, which is X18. I've got some of that somewhere, which goes around. Little arrow just here pointing to the window surround. And X11 is the chrome silver paint for the door handles. Very detailed stickers. This is another thing that people trip up on, but here it says bodies of this model is made of styrene, spray paint large areas and brush paint the details using Tamiya plastic model paint. Of course they're going to say they want to use Tamiya model paints. Stickers. People have commented on the stickers saying they don't peel off. Well, no, they don't peel off because it is just one laminated sheet. So we cut each sticker out, cut them out using a pair of scissors or an X-Acto knife. Just cut around the edge, peel the backing off and put them on with the adhesive. Remove the lining slowly. If the line is completely removed in advance, the sticker may become wrinkled or contain unwanted bubbles. Stick them on carefully. Top tip here. When putting on the stripes around the cab, just here where it goes around into the gap behind the exhaust, you can push it in with one of the offcuts of one of the parts trees. It actually says use sprue as shown. So yeah, all pretty good. This bit here, it's saying that this is the chrome indicator that goes on the front fender just here, and it's showing you to scratch that off, right? So remove the chrome plating so you can glue in the light lens. Fiddly screws for the mirrors. So as you can see, we're on, what's this part, step 45. Starting to get the details on. Q3 is a semi-gloss black. You can use a semi-gloss black because a lot of people like the shiny rubber on. Let me just get the box art up there. just here, I use flat black personally, but it's all about how you want your truck to look. Yeah, hop up options, it's telling you here. Should tell you this at the beginning, because if you think, oh right, I should have got these ball bearings, and it's telling you need 1150s and 1260s. Right. Yeah, the 1260s I wouldn't bother with, because they go in the transmission and they don't rotate, they slide. So yeah, the option parts, you need 8 and 29 of the 1150. So that's what, 37 bearings. Shows you where to put all the bits and pieces. The semi-gloss black and dark yellow for the interior, and again in every corner tells you how everything is supposed to be set up. We need 4 flat washers, the BC2s. We need 4 BE2s, and it's still telling us that it's in parts bag E. So we might go from one parts bag to another, but really you're going to be using parts bag A first, a lot of them first. That's telling us where to cable tie the electrics, telling us how to do things. The cab and the sleeper are in one piece. In the next video, I'm going to show you the modification parts that I've already purchased in preparation. So that's the thing. And the safety precautions. Basically, this is echoing the yellow sheet at the front. This is basically a 1993 printed manual, so they can add this in as an extra, because this is just stapled straight through into the back. So yeah, this is telling us what is what. This is the English. It tells us the parts, what we've got on A parts, what we've got on B and C, etc. There's all those parts are in just white, whether the chrome parts or black parts. And we just have all the information on there. Tells you what's in the blister pack on the front. These are actual sizes of the gears, so you can actually get one of the gears, place it on top of the drawing, and that's how big it will be. For example, we already have this bag open, so what we'll do is we'll put that on there, which is exactly that part. We have 4 of these, which is exactly that. This part here, that's a funny shaped part. Let me get that up there. So that's going to be this, which is your front damper stay. And that is that part there. We have the rear suspension parts here, which is exactly that. And we have a bunch of these, which are those parts. You get the drift. I'm not going to line them all up and bore you to death. Yeah, that's it. Even the spanner is actual size of what we get in this box. How crazy is that? Yeah, all good, all good. Tells you how many parts you have. You have 2 of these, you have 4 of those, 2 of those, 2 of those, 2 of those, 4 of those. They're the cab stays, and they're shaded, so they're going to be black metal parts. More safety instructions. Let me stick up these in here, zoom back out. How to keep yourself organised is keep everything in their bags. And because I have done quite a few of these, I've come up with a little system of what I do and how I do it. Let's continue in telling us what the parts are. And I'm sure that's Japanese. I'm going to find out if that's Japanese. And I'll put it on the subtitle just here at the bottom of the video. Because it's a Japanese company, as it says it there. So I'm pretty sure that will be Japanese. I can't see it being Chinese. Anyhow, parts that they're not showing on here is the grill mesh, the mud flap and the double-sided tape. That's what they're not showing on here. And then the rear is just giving us parts numbers. So the body parts code is, so if you need a new body, put that in your search, whether it's on eBay, Amazon, whatever. These are the part numbers. So if you need, let's say, the U-bolt bag, then it's 9405922. All good stuff. Yep. Everything you need to know is on there. Right, what else was I going to show you? I was going to show you my method of madness. So we have all these parts and fanning about with the bags, trying to open them, trying to get the bits out. It just gets crazy, frustrating. So what I end up doing, what I found was found a little way of organising them, and that's getting some of these trays, right? Washed them out after I had some Chinese carry out, and I put stickers on them. So I empty A parts into there. I'm not going to insult your intelligence by telling you what I'm putting in, and I have this one. I have a dozen more of these because I'm very friendly with the Cantonese family that run our local takeaway, and they've given me quite a few of these that haven't been used. So I just empty all the parts into one of these. I have about 6 or 7 of these that are all just mooched around, but yeah, it's easily identifiable. So I have parts F, E, D, and do you know what? I just stack them up so it becomes organised. I think we've all got a certain level of OCD, and I like to be organised. So if I want something out of C parts, I shall just take that. If I want something out of F parts, I shall just take it out of that. And let me show you what the tweezers come in handy for. So you've got an assortment of screws in there. There's a lot in there. So you're looking for, you know, whatever part you've got, whatever fixing you need, whatever screw you need. So So you've got your manual. A lot of people like to put the manual in front of them and build on their manual. Let me bring you back down a little bit. So people have got this and they want one of these bolts. Tweezers, 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 absolutely brilliant. And they're just so handy for picking up a bolt and then having a look to see if it is the right one. I'm not organised because I'm sat funny. So that's that one, and that shows us that we need 16 of those for the axles. So there's one, there's two, and it's just so easy to pick them out. So you get them. You just pick up any bolt. That's one of the gear shifters, but I don't use the gear shifters very often. Like a battery post thing. So that's what I use. I pick, you know, you can pick nuts up, nylocks. You've got your flanged nut. We have a nylock nut M3. There are some even smaller ones which probably didn't come out. But there's those little nasty things that go flying everywhere. There you go. So some people call them an E-clip because it looks like an E. I call them C-clips or a circlip. It depends what you want to call it. Some people call them absolute bleeps because if you've got them wrong, here's an example of what could happen. You've got hold of it like that, but if you just try and nudge it onto something, it just goes, just disappears. And that's just fell on the floor. And I'm not going to waste time looking for it because I'll find it when I've paused the video. So there we have it. That's the manual, briefly explained. You're going to be given a build series on this. I'll be showing probably episode 1 will be assembling the servos, the chassis cross members, and assembling the chassis with the fuel tank and the steps. That's probably going to be the first one, and the second one I'll be assembling the rear suspension, and that's not going to take too long to do. So the second episode is going to probably be page 6 and 7. So that's going to be steps 5 through to 10. Might even continue that through to 14, to building the rear suspension from start to the diffs to the axles, the fitting the suspension. That's going to be quite a long episode. I could split that into 2, but this one's going to be a good one. The front suspension, this one, and showing you the easy modification that I do with this. With the American trucks, they got quite long, so we need a bit of extra steering. Show you a little bit piece of advice how we do that. That's going to be good. And then the transmission. So I'm going to download this video onto my computer. I'll let that settle. I'm going to make my Sunday lunch. After lunch I'm going to edit this video. I'll upload it later on today or first thing in the morning. So please subscribe, hit that notification bell. I know it's what all the YouTubers say, but you know, I want you to get these videos as soon as they come out, and leave a comment. Criticism, I enjoy criticism, right? If you think something's wrong or you do it differently, leave a comment. Other YouTubers will look at this and improve their channel. Other builders might look at that comment that you've left and think, oh yeah, that's quite good. I'm still learning. I built mine in 1993 and I'm still learning. So yeah, leave a comment, hit that like button. Them little things probably means nothing to you, but it really does help my channel, and it's a hobby that I've been passionate about for a long time. So yeah, ding ding. Thanks for watching. Next video will be the upgrade.